This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting, brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Wednesday, July 24th. First up, introducing the newly branded Spotify Ads Manager. The Spotify Ad Studio self-serve platform has been rebranded as Spotify Ads Manager. With the rebrand comes updates to the user interface. A new Audience Manager feature will be released in closed beta ahead of a full release in 2025, and recent introductions to the platform include visual ad formats, Canvas for advertisers, opt-in video ads, and a pixel creation tool which is currently in beta. Next up, a Q2 earnings roundup. We've got quite a few new reports to go over, so let's do them rapid fire. First, Audioboom reports their revenue per 1,000 downloads increased 32% year over year, reaching $60.09. Adweek's roundup of YouTube coverage notes the platform's ad revenue grew 13% year over year, up to $8.66 billion USD. Revenue grew year over year at NBC Universal's Peacock streaming service, bringing operating loss down to $348 million. NBC Universal also has television hopes on the horizon with an 11-year rights deal to secure NBA games on NBC and Peacock. Up next, the listening and consumer habits of the Black podcast audience. Using data tracked since 2021 for Triton Digital's Podcast Metrics Demos Plus, Signal Hill Insights has created a snapshot of Black podcast audiences in the United States. As of Q2 2024, 47% of respondents identified as Black or African American and aged 18 plus in the United States listen to podcasts at least monthly, a 10% increase year over year. Jeff Vidler's breakdown lists genres that trend higher than the general U.S. population in listener data and breaks down a list of category opportunities for advertisers looking to connect with Black podcast listeners. And finally, how the Democratic presidential election upheaval will impact the political ad market. A lot has happened since Sunday when President Biden announced he was stepping out of the U.S. presidential race and endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris to take his place. While the Harris campaign burst through the gate with a viral endorsement and subsequent promotional materials from Charlie XCX, marketing executives interviewed by Digiday see the sudden switch as an opportunity for more tuned-in influencer opportunities, as the 59-year-old candidate is no stranger to mimetic stardom. Typically, with presidential campaigns, the majority of ad spend is spent during the last 3 weeks, though with this unprecedented shift in candidates, it's possible the Harris campaign will start spending sooner to make up for lost time. Budgets for the campaign are expected to be largely distributed over broadcast TV and digital in hot-button areas like Rust Belt swing states. As for the rest of the news, Triton Digital has released its June 2024 Canada podcast ranker. Q-Code has tapped John Hamm to star in and executive produce their new scripted series Dungeon Masters. Elle writer Naomi May charts the rise of political podcasts in the UK and lists popular examples. And the BBC is set to lay off 500 more staff by March of 2026 as its financial deficit grows and fewer households renew TV licenses in favor of online streaming. Be sure to check out the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The Download is written and produced by Newton Shadalkati, Brian Barletta, Tom Webster, and myself. This episode is hosted on Spreaker. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow.